have a no-fry zone in Greystones. We're going to find out more about what this is and what it entails from a campaigner for a no-fry zone in Greystones. That's Philip Moyles. Good morning to you, Philip.
Good morning, Declan. How are you?
Okay, thank you. So tell us the origin of this and where you've arrived at.
I suppose the origin is that McDonald's tried to build a fast food outlet in an appropriate location in Greystones back in July 2013. And I suppose since then, the Wicklow County Council twice approved their planning application. Onboard Penala didn't approve it once, and then just at the end of last year, Onboard Penala actually decided that they were going to allow planning permission there. At the 12th hour, Lidl, who owned the land, decided not to sell it to McDonald's, so they're not proceeding ahead. The reason we got into this situation is because I suppose the national planning guidelines that were issued by the Minister for the Environment in 2013 were vague and were open to interpretation. And also because the local area plan and the county development plan didn't have any objectives on this particular topic. So basically, it's a loophole that was exploited. The guidelines state that planning authorities must pay due consideration to fast food to foods that are high in sugar, salt and fats and vicinities of schools. But vicinities is open to interpretation. The location they were looking for was 35 metres away from 3 schools. So what we've done since then is worked very closely with the Greystones councillors to push an objective into the county development plan to make sure that this can't happen again. And on Monday earlier this week, the Wicklow Council voted on it, and 18 councillors supported the motion, 12 were against it. So basically it means now we're one step closer to having this objective regarding how close fast food outlets can be to schools into the development plan.
Right, and the objection was because of what specifically? It's the temptation of having a fast food restaurant, is it, or what?
No, I mean, basically, there's a lot of studies being done to show that the closer fast food outlets are to schools, the higher the rate of obesity is. And particularly studies in America and Scandinavia have conclusively showed that if you have fast food outlets within 400 metres of schools, the rate of obesity will go up by at least 25%. It is also a strategy of a lot of large fast food outlets to target children and to target schools. So what this objective is trying to do is to reduce obesity in the long term by making sure that fast food outlets are located in suitable locations. It's not about banning fast food outlets. It's about making sure that they're not on the doorsteps of schools. And the main reason is we're in the middle of an obesity crisis. I mean, obesity in children has increased by 300% since 2006. 1 in 4 children is obese. So this one step is a positive step forward. We know it's not going to solve obesity. A lot of different actions have to take place to do that, but this is a positive step forward, and it's been endorsed by all of the leading healthcare experts in the country, including Professor Donal O'Shea, the chairperson of the Royal College of Physicians on obesity. So if 25 plus experts have gone to the effort to write submissions into Wicklow County Council to say this is a positive step forward, we should enact it, and it's good to see that the councillors have paid heed to that and to the general public who have made submissions, over 200, to get this one step closer to getting into the plan.
Okay. Now, McDonald's are not here, so I just put a few points maybe on their behalf, though I don't actually know what they're thinking themselves. They won't get their planning permission because Lidl have withdrawn it. But anyway, schools are not open every day. There's, what about the summer holidays? Children are at school. I don't know what the turnover for breakfast is. I don't know if they go out for lunch. So the only area might be just maybe within an hour of school finishing. So what do we do at night? And what do we do Saturdays and Sundays? So should a business be curtailed for very limited use that there would be from school children in the area? Also, Lidl are looking for an expanded shop. They put in a planning permission for their which they didn't get and now they presumably will get. They sell fizzy drinks and sweets and bickies and cakes and all sorts of things. Would you want them to desist from selling those? So that would be the points that perhaps they would make to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, regarding some of those points, I mean, we're talking about businesses that primarily sell fast food outlets. So, I mean, Lidl's primary business is not selling fast foods. Yes, they may sell some fizzy drinks and such. We're not targeting that. We're targeting outlets that primarily sell fast foods, where we know statistically the studies show that there is a link between fast foods and obesity. In terms of schools, the location that they were looking at, one of the schools is a secondary school. So secondary school children may be able to go for their lunch. The reason why we're specifying a distance of 400 metres is because, again, the studies show that 400 metres is enough of a distance that children probably on their lunch break won't be able to get to it and back in time. So it's a deterrent. The other element as well is, even though schools may not be open at the weekend, if you have a fast food outlet, a big McDonald's sign right outside your classroom window, I mean, that's very strong subliminal marketing. Children need to be protected from that.
Okay. Well, you stay on the line there, Philip. Jennifer Whitmore, a Social Democrats councillor, joins us. Jennifer, good morning.
Good morning, Declan.
Good morning to you. What do you think of this particular controversy?
Look, to be honest, Declan, I'm incredibly happy that this amendment was accepted by our councillors on Monday. I think it's a really important step that Wicklow County Council has taken. It's an issue, as you know, and as Philip has explained, it's been on the boil in the Greystones district for quite a while, and it was one of those, I suppose, issues that when the locals came to us, there was such concern about it that all these 6 district councillors came together and we worked with all those local people to bring this forward at a county level. And I'm delighted that we managed to do that, and we managed to gain the support of our county council colleagues to get this amendment through. I think it's very important. I think it will set Wicklow County as a leader in this area. It's a very proactive step that we've taken, and I hope that other councils across the country will now feel that they too can take this step and offer a level of protection, I suppose, to our children that I really do believe that they need. I mean, Philip has gone into great detail there as to how 1 in 4 children now are either overweight or obese, and that's really not acceptable. So the society that we're in at the moment, it is not tackling this problem, and we need to take additional steps to do it. And I think this is a very important step.
The companies themselves would say that, not just McDonald's, that these are to be enjoyed as a treat or an occasional meal rather than being the mainstay of your diet, and there's parental responsibility as regards what children eat.
I absolutely agree. There is parental responsibility, but not all parents are going to be in a position to provide that support or to provide the education or the knowledge to their children. And when that doesn't happen, then as a society we step in and we also help with that support. So, for example, there's no smoking allowed near playgrounds in many counties. That is because we recognise that smoking is very dangerous, that children should not be influenced by people smoking around them. So we step in and we offer that level of protection. And I think this is another instance where that as a community that we can help and offer a buffer to the children so that they're not constantly being bombarded with images of fast food. A lot of these companies spend millions upon millions in marketing to children, and they don't do that unless they expect a return for it. So I think it's important that we do offer that level of protection to them.
Just onto the Lidl, I mean, 10 years ago they were looking to expand this particular store, and the local people in Greystones objected. Councillors actually said there's going to be too much congestion around Lidl. So is it okay now to expand Lidl?
Well, look, I mean, I suppose there is a huge amount of congestion there. Everyone who would travel through that junction knows that it's a very, very difficult junction to get through, particularly at peak times. There's 3 schools there now, and during school times it's incredibly difficult. That road will be opened up onto Church Road in Dalgany, which, in my opinion, brings additional problems with it. But Lidl, when they do go to expand, they will have to adhere to the planning guidelines, and the planning officials will assess their application based on their guidelines and make their appropriate decision on that.
Yeah, just one thing for Philip. Philip, I've put to you logically, I suppose, what the companies would say, but there are some people who get in touch and they wouldn't be as complimentary to Greystones as maybe other people are. The things like Greystones feels it's too snobby to have a McDonald's is one, and another one maybe lighter than that says, what about employment?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we're not saying we want to ban fast food outlets. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is we want to make sure that they're not in a location that's unsuitable, and that one of those locations is right in front of a school. If McDonald's want to come to Greystones, they are more than welcome to come once they choose the right location. That's what this is about. It's about making sure that they choose the right locations. Regarding jobs, yes. I mean, as I said, they can come to Greystones, pick the right location. It's nothing to do with snobbery. This is about tackling a serious issue of childhood obesity. I've given you the stats earlier on. We need to take actions. The WHO are saying we're going to become the biggest nation in Europe. The cost to the economy is estimated to go to about 5.4 billion by 2030 if we don't start to tackle just obesity. So, there's an economic benefit to doing this.
Okay, all right. Just
can I just
very briefly, if you don't mind, Jennifer? Yes.
Yeah, I just want to make a point that it's important that people recognise that this won't affect town centre areas. So if a fast food outlet, if an existing fast food outlet or one that would like to open up in a town centre area, it will not affect them. It's only outside those town centre areas that this amendment will cover. Okay.
Sorry to cut you both short, but thank you very much indeed for your contributions this morning. Thank you. Philip Moyles there, campaigner about the no-fry zone in Greystones, and also Cllr Jennifer Whitmore of the Social Democrats. I'm sure you've got a view at 087 77 11 103 if you